Right now, there's a man watching this who knows exactly who I'm describing. He's going through the motions of his day, showing up to work, smiling at people, but inside, he's somewhere else. He's replaying conversations at 2 in the morning, scrolling through old photos, holding on to someone who is no longer holding on to him. And the worst part is, he knows it. He knows the relationship is over. He knows the clinging is killing him, but he can't stop. If that's you, stay with me. Because today, we're going to talk about why we cling to the people we love, what it actually costs you when you refuse to let go, and how to start moving forward, even when every part of you wants to stay exactly where you are. Here's something most men don't know. We're told men move on faster. We don't. The research says the opposite. Men fall in love faster and we take longer to recover. The reason is simple. Women have richer emotional networks. They talk to friends, they process out loud. Most men have one person they truly open up to, and that person is their partner. So when she leaves, it's not just a breakup, it's the loss of the only person who knew him completely. That's why men cling so tight. We're not just losing a girlfriend, we're losing our emotional home. But here's where it gets uncomfortable. There's a difference between loving someone and clinging to someone, and most men confuse the two. Love is wanting what's best for someone, even if that means they're not with you. Clinging is wanting to feel the way that person made you feel, regardless of whether the relationship was good for either of you. Clinging isn't about her, it's about you. It's about a feeling you're chasing, the fear of facing yourself without the comfort of that relationship to hide behind. A lot of you know this scenario. Things were intense, alive, then something happened. Maybe she said the timing was wrong. Her career, her health, the distance, some obstacle that made it feel impossible to her, but never to you, and she ended it. But here's the part that keeps you up at night. She told you she still wanted to be with you. She said you were amazing. She said if things were different, she'd choose you in a heartbeat. And now, you're walking around believing you lost the love of your life to a bad hand the universe dealt you. You believe she's the one who got away. I need to challenge that directly because it's the single most destructive story you can tell yourself. The idea that someone is the one who got away requires you to believe there exists one perfect person for you and that external circumstances are the only thing keeping you apart. But for a relationship to work, both people have to choose it. Both people have to look at the obstacles and say, this is worth fighting through. If one person decides it's too much, what they're really telling you, whether they say the words or not, is that the relationship doesn't hold the same weight for them that it holds for you. Their threshold for walking away is lower than yours. And someone whose threshold for walking away is lower than yours is not, by definition, the right person for you. Now, I know what you're thinking, but she said it was the obstacle. She said it was real. Maybe. But even if we accept that what she was actually telling you is that a happy, thriving relationship wasn't possible under those conditions. And if that's true, then what you lost is not a happy relationship. What you lost is the fantasy of one. The real relationship, the one that would have actually existed, would have been marked by strain, resentment, one person giving everything and the other unable to receive it. That's not the fairy tale your mind built. Your mind took the highlight reel, the best 3 months, the best conversations, the way she laughed and projected it forward into a future that was never going to exist the way you picture it. Here's what I want every man watching this to hear. When you cling to someone who left, you're not living in reality. You're living in a story, a parallel universe where she comes back, where the obstacle disappears, where everything works out. That universe does not exist. This one does. And in this one, your life is happening right now while you sit there staring at your phone, hoping for a message that's probably never coming. Time does not care about your heartbreak. Every day you spend mentally living in a relationship that no longer exists is a day stolen from the one you could actually build. The opportunities, the people, the version of yourself you could be becoming, all of it gets put on hold while you worship someone who chose not to be with you. If you've made it this far, I want to say something directly. This channel is called Why We Cling, and if you've watched my older videos, This one probably feels different. That's intentional. From here on, this is the channel for the man who's done clinging to the wrong people, the wrong stories, the wrong version of himself. No red pill anger, no blue pill fluff, just the truth and the work it takes to become the man worth keeping. Because here's what nobody tells you: we don't cling to people, we cling to who we were when they were here. And the only way out is to become someone new. So, how do you actually start? First, examine the story you're telling yourself. Most men stuck in this have built a narrative that protects them from the real pain. We were perfect, circumstances got in the way. That story is comfortable because nothing was wrong with you and nothing was wrong with her. The villain is fate. But sit with this. Was the relationship really as perfect as you remember? Or are you editing out the moments that didn't feel right? Losing something always makes it feel more valuable than having it did. Second, reframe what her leaving actually means. It wasn't fate tearing apart soulmates. It was a person evaluating a relationship and deciding it wasn't worth the difficulty of staying. That's not a judgment on your worth. It's information about her level of investment, and that information is useful. Rejection is the antidote to delusion. The pain is the medicine, the reality check that frees you from a fantasy that would have consumed years of your life if you let it. Third, stop torturing yourself over what you could have done differently. If I hadn't been so jealous, if I'd been more patient, if I'd said the right thing. You did what you did because of who you were at that point in your life. Wishing you'd acted differently is wishing you were a different human being entirely. The version of you that sees what went wrong only exists because of this pain. You couldn't have had this clarity before. The heartbreak gave it to you. Wanting the clarity without the heartbreak is wanting something that can't exist. There's an experiment with two rats on running wheels. One chose when to run, the other was forced to run at the same pace, same exercise, same duration. But the one who chose showed all the benefits, and the one forced to run showed all the markers of stress. The difference was agency. You didn't choose this pain, but you can retroactively choose it by deciding to extract every ounce of growth from it. The moment you do, you stop being the victim of your pain and become a student of it. Fourth, rebuild your identity outside this relationship. Most men who cling define themselves through her, through being her partner, through the future they imagined. When she left, they didn't just lose a person, they lost a sense of who they were. So who are you without her? What goals have you neglected? What friendships faded? What version of yourself have you been putting off? Pour your energy there, not as a distraction, as an investment in the only life you're guaranteed to have. And fifth, grieve properly. Men are terrible at this. We try to think our way out of feelings, analyze the breakup into submission, but grief doesn't respond to logic. It responds to time and honest emotional processing. Sit with it, feel it. Talk to someone you trust. There's no deadline for healing, but there's a difference between grieving and ruminating. Grieving moves through you. Ruminating keeps you stuck, because what you're holding on to isn't even her anymore. It's a ghost. The person in your memory is a snapshot frozen, idealized by distance and longing. She isn't real. What's real is your life, unfolding right now, full of potential you can't access, while your hands are full holding something that's already gone. Remember, we don't cling to people. We cling to who we were when they were here. So become someone new, someone you'd be proud to introduce to the woman who's still out there waiting to meet him. The right person is not someone you have to convince to stay. The right person doesn't use an obstacle as an exit. The right person shows up, chooses you consistently, fights with the same intensity you do. That person exists. But you'll never find them while you're spending all your emotional energy on someone who already walked away. Let her go. Not because what you had wasn't meaningful, it was, but because what's ahead of you could be even more so, and you deserve to be fully present for it. Drop one word in the comments, the name of the thing you're letting go of today. Subscribe and stay with me. This is Why We Cling.